Ever since January 6th, Democrats have made election integrity central to the very identity of the party. So considering the importance they've placed on this issue, all the energy they spent talking about not undermining election results, and that's a sentiment I agree with, why did they just hand a key leadership position to someone who has previously undermined election results? On Wednesday, House Democrats selected New York Congressman Hakeem Jeffries as their leader, succeeding Speaker Nancy Pelosi. But in doing that, Democrats have offered conservative media outlets and even some congressional Republicans a hypocrisy gift with regard to Hakeem Jeffries because of his previous rhetoric about the 2016 election in particular. In a speech on the Senate floor today, Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell took on Jeffries over a variety of comments he's made undermining election outcomes.
The newly elected incoming leader of House Democrats is a past election denier who basically said the 2016 election was, quote, illegitimate, and suggested that we had a, quote, fake president.
Now let's be clear. Jeffries is not an election denier in the same way that Donald Trump or Kari Lake are, and that they just refuse to accept the outcome. But there's no question the new Democratic House leader has undermined faith in our elections. In March of 2017, 2 months after Donald Trump was sworn in as president, Jeffries tweeted, quote, with legitimacy of Trump's presidential election in doubt, his lifetime appointment to the Supreme Court can wait, referring to Trump nominating Neil Gorsuch to the court in 2018. In 2018, he tweeted, the more we learn about the 2016 election, the more illegitimate it becomes. America deserves to know whether we have a fake president in the Oval Office. That's what Mitch McConnell was referring to. And in a 2019 House Judiciary Committee hearing, Jeffries argued that Russian election meddling led to former President Trump being, quote, artificially placed in the White House.
Russia interfered with our election, attacked our democracy for the sole purpose of artificially placing someone at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. They were successful.
It's true the Russians tried to impact the election. It's also true they tried to help Donald Trump. But it's not true that there's evidence to prove that the meddling is what led to Trump being elected. Donald Trump won the 2016 election, period. Now, I'm not comparing Jeffries to Donald Trump. What Jeffries said was dumb and I think even dangerous. But because he ultimately did vote to certify the 2016 election, it clearly puts him on a different plane than Trump and others who outright refused to accept the results. But still, in choosing Hakeem Jeffries for this all-important post, House Democrats have selected as their leader someone who's undermined faith in voting results. He may not have engaged in full-on election denialism, but he sure has attacked the credibility of the system. And at a time when one of the Democrats' top missions appears to be to uphold the credibility of that system, why would they pick someone who's undermined it? Joining us now is Ameshia Cross, a former member of President Barack Obama's White House communications staff and a political analyst for Sirius XM. Thanks so much for coming back on the program. Appreciate it. All right, what am I getting wrong here?
Well, I think that I appreciate the asterisk that you ended on with that this isn't 2020 and 2016 election denialism are not the same for various reasons. But I think that we can dig a little deeper into what Hakeem Jeffries said. And in my opinion, I would say find the lie. We all followed the Mueller investigation and the Mueller probe. There is a direct line to Russian entanglement in the 2016 election, be it whether it was through social media channels and all of the propaganda that was there, be it whether it was through cracking into the DNC and the Hillary Clinton campaign, trying to crack into the RNC, and even up to and including collaborating with and having conversation with members of the Trump organization and the Trump campaign itself. I think what we saw from Hakeem Jeffries was calling a spade a spade. And calling out what he saw as an illegitimate process to which Donald Trump actually made it to the 2016 presidency, which, quite frankly, a lot of Americans actually agreed with.
Yeah, and a lot of people on the right think that the 2020 election was illegitimate, not because there was voter fraud, but because of the things that happened before the election. Oh, the suppression of Hunter Biden, algorithms on social media, et cetera. You know, if you start going down this road of, oh, well, this problem with the election makes it illegitimate, that problem with the election makes it illegitimate, you are going down a dangerous road that I thought that Democrats claimed that they didn't want to go down.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your cable provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.